The views and opinions expressed on the Veterans in Politics radio show and podcast are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of Vegas All Net Radio, its affiliates, or its parent company.
Well, we're back. This is Steve Sanson and Jennifer. We can't hear you. Say that again.
Jennifer Barrier.
Jennifer
Make sure the
Barrier.
button is on.
Jennifer Barrier. We don't have Jim Jonas. It's on. Your mic's on.
Oh, right.
But we hear this echo. What's going on with this echo, Irma? Are we in the club? Sha. Anyways. Jim Jonas took a leave of absence today. He decided that he was going to, I don't know, take a day off. So good for him. I'm taking a day off October 1st, folks, so I won't be in. So Jim Jonas has his special guest host that's going to be helping him out that day. But today we're going to have Itamar Gilman. I hope I pronounced that right. Did I pronounce that right, Irma?
I'm looking.
Uh-huh. He's a Republican candidate representing Texas for U.S. Congress. And then we have Diana Hampton, who's a Henderson Municipal Court judge. So, Jennifer, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm hanging out here. You look much better than Jim, just so you know. A lot cuter, smell a whole lot better. Just a glow about you that's so much different than Jim Jonas.
Oh, why, thank you.
Yeah, not to put Jim Jonas down or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to put him down.
No.
You can't do that.
And my seat is a whole lot closer than how it was when Jim usually co-hosts. Isn't that right, Irma?
It's yes, sir.
That's right. Anyways, did you know that I believe it was in the papers yesterday, there was a 23-year-old Marine that received the Medal of Honor, the highest medal in the land. President of the United States put it around his neck. And usually Medal of Honor winners are usually dead. They're not alive.
I did read about that. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Apparently he saved 37 of his Marines. 23 years old received. You know, everybody has to salute this guy now that's in the military. Because once you receive the Medal of Honor, even generals have to salute him.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really incredible. But I was also in California for 2 days. I'm a member of the Commercial Law League in California, and I was in California for 2 days, and that was fun. But you ever heard of the Commercial Law League?
I have not.
Yeah, it's a group of folks, almost all lawyers and collection managers that it's a networking thing, put people together, try to drum up business.
Right, primarily in California?
No, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're like international. So, what do you got there?
All right, so I have to say that today, if you don't know, is Constitution Day. So on this day in 1787, the U.S. Constitution was signed by 39 brave men who changed the course of history.
Really? Today's Constitution
I am
Day.
proud to be an American.
Yes.
To say the least.
Yeah, I didn't even know today was Constitution Day till you brought it up. You know something? Speaking of Constitution Day, I read in the paper today that Congressman Joe Heck wants to put military retirement in a 401k and have them get it when they're 60, 65 years old. Instead of they get it after they're 20 years of service, then they automatically get it when they come out the military. I don't believe a military personnel would do something like that. Maybe because he's in the reserves. I don't know. But why would a military personnel want to make a military veteran wait until they're 60, 65 to collect retirement? You believe that, Jennifer?
That's kind of hard to believe, actually, because of his background.
I mean, hell, usually veterans don't last that long if they live until they're 55, much less 65. So I just thought that was a little bit crazy, especially coming from somebody that did 20 years in the reserves.
Right. Maybe, I don't know, today age is of the essence now. So, you know what? That might be it. I don't know the reasoning behind this.
So do you have any rants? Do you have something you want to get out?
You know what? Well, I don't. I didn't
something
really
off
prepare.
your chest? Somebody bothering you or anything?
Oh, yeah. You know, let me talk about that. You know, I definitely would be on here for a long time. No, I'm kidding. But no real rants. I'm excited that today is Constitution Day. You know, when I woke up, I didn't even remember until I, of course, logged on to my computer. So. Yeah, I'm just proud to be an American.
All right, very good.
Glad for this day.
We're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk to Itamar Gilman, the Republican candidate representing Texas for U.S. Congress. So let's take a commercial break right now, Jennifer. This is Steve Sanson and Jennifer Barrier with Veterans in Politics.
Hey, listen up. If you're a military veteran, if you're related to a veteran, or if you know a veteran, you'll enjoy the Veterans Reporter radio show every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. with me. I'm your host, Chuck N. Baker. Every week, we will explore veterans' issues and we'll have guests who will talk about topics of interest to and about the veterans community. And if you don't listen, you'll have to give me 20 push-ups.
What are you doing online?
I'm checking out the belly dance class we took last week.
Where's it at?
TakeBackYourBelly.com.
That's right.
We worked our arms.
We worked our abs.
We worked so hard
and had a blast. No matter what your shape or size, come belly dance, you'll be surprised.
For class schedule and location, log on to TakeBackYourBelly.com or call 219-3151.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Veterans in Politics International. The Veterans in Politics mission is to teach, educate, organize, and awaken our veterans and their families to select, support, and vote intelligently for a better world and to protect ourselves from our own governments and a culture of corruption and to be the political voice for those in other groups that do not have one.
There are too many homeless veterans and more help is needed from the VA. Every Veterans Service Organization post should adopt a local homeless veteran.
The funding of VA medical centers is inadequate and building a VA hospital in Southern Nevada is moving at a slow pace. The budget has been flatlined for too many years. The VA is too quick to deny claims and too slow to help veterans gather records in support of claims.
Local politicians ignore veterans and their issues. They perceive a lack of organization among their local veterans and that it won't hurt them at election time. Veterans too often vote party, not veteran issues. All veterans should vote in every election.
The news media give inadequate coverage to veteran issues and events. You must send letters to the editor and voice this concern.
Please contact your members of Congress and Senate and urge them to co-sponsor key legislation in supporting our veterans.
Please support Veterans in Politics. And to get more information, go to www.veteransinpolitics.com.
Are you a business owner struggling during these economic times? Please listen up. How would you like to put your business and services in front of every resident and business in the Las Vegas Valley for less than a penny per home? Yes, that's right. I said less than 1 cent per home and business. And how would you like to have a dynamic and exciting online presence with the major search engines? How about an online video for your business and a fully optimized website with absolutely no setup fee? Hi, my name is George. If you are interested in these and other services that can make your phone ring with clients and prospects, then call me at 702-296-8394. Just call George at 702-296-8394. Thank you.
Veterans in Politics' first annual VIP ball will be held at the Plaza Hotel and Casino in downtown Las Vegas on Saturday, October 15th at 5:30 p.m. Join us for a VIP reception, dinner, and dancing with special guest speaker United States Congresswoman Shelley Berkeley. Other invited guest speakers will include Nevada Lieutenant Governor Brian Krolicki and Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman. Together we are moving veterans forward in Nevada. For tickets and sponsorships, call 702-813-8356 or visit our website at www.veteransinpolitics.com.
Americans have been fooled by politicians about illegal immigration.
They make you think that if you bring up this topic, you are a racist. Did you know that America is the only country on this planet that does not enforce its federal immigration laws? For the fear of being called a racist. I am for legal immigration. I was born on the island of Jamaica, became an American citizen, served 12 years in the U.S. military, served in Desert Storm, and received a Presidential Unit Citation, National Defense Medal, and Marine Corps Commendation. Our immigration laws serve a purpose. I understand that this country was founded on immigration, but there is a wrong way and a right way. I'm here to tell you that illegal immigration is breaking our federal laws. Why don't you call me a racist? This is Steve Sanson.
Well, we're back. This is Steve Sanson and Jennifer Barrier.
Yes.
We're veterans in politics. We have live calling in from Texas, Itamar Gilman, Republican candidate representing Texas for U.S. Congress. Itamar, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, how you doing? Did I pronounce your name correctly?
My first name, yes. My last name is Gelman.
Gelman. Yeah, you know what, Itamar? I'm always messing people's names up.
Oh, don't worry. It's not the first time. It's not the last time someone will mess my name up. I'm used to it.
Could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I was born in New York, and at an early age, my parents moved to Israel, where I grew up. And as you know, in Israel, it's mandatory to serve in the military. And I joined the military when I was 18 years old. I served for a little bit over 3 years, and I finished my service as a lieutenant from the Special Forces, the Red Beret Special Forces.
So you were born in New York, and then you went to Israel?
Yes, when I was about 5 years old.
Okay, so. And it's mandatory to join the military over there, correct?
Correct. I think I don't remember the exact threshold, but if you live in Israel more than X amount of years, you
have to serve in the military. Do you think that same philosophy should be brought over to the U.S.?
I got mixed feelings for that because I'm a huge supporter of the military, and I think looking at my friends that are former military comparing to my friends that are not military, you can see the difference between their work ethic, just how much more mature the former military people are, and how much more perspective they have for life and everything that is going on. You know, they've traveled, they've seen stuff that most of the people in the world don't see. A lot of them, unfortunately, seen or were attacked, and maybe one of their unit members got killed or injured, or themselves they got injured, and it gives a lot more perspective to what's important in life and what's not, comparing to most of the people that didn't serve in the military, and then they just, they don't have that vision of what's important in life.
So when you served in the military in Israel, did you have any conflicts with the Palestinians or the Lebanese out there? Were you in those types of wars while you were in the service?
Yes, Lebanese a little bit less. My unit didn't go much to that area. With the Palestinians, about 3 times a day for 3 years.
So how do you feel about those two countries? Would that hamper your decision making if you become a congressman for the United States and we have some international issues with Palestine or with Lebanon? Would you be more I would say favor to go after them than not to, because of your personal history with them while serving in the military in Israel?
I don't keep a grudge.
So there won't be a conflict of interest then, right? Is that what you're saying?
There won't be a conflict of interest. My decision with the Palestinians and Lebanon or any other Islamic country will be pretty much the problem that I have, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really in touch with my service in the military. My problem with the Islamic countries is they just first of all, they don't recognize Israel as a state, and second of all, they don't recognize any other religion other than Islam as a legit religion. And I'm talking about Christianity as well, not just Judaism.
Right. Jennifer, you had a question in regards to that.
Yes, actually, from some of our listeners, one question is, what is your opinion of using debt and how should it be paid off?
First of all, we need to that's a big question. That's a long answer for that too. But I'm a huge supporter of lowering taxes. As a businessman myself, and as a guy that comes from a family of business people, I've seen how we make decisions, and myself in my business, when I make a decision, a lot of it is where do I need to start my company? Open my company and get all the licenses and get all the permits, and it has to do a lot with the taxes. And all it's as a congressman, you do federal law, but if you look at the states right now, for example, Texas doesn't have state income tax, and you could see in the last few years, and maybe in the last decade, all the states that don't have state income tax, how much they grew comparing to the states that have income tax. And that's a great proof to the government to show that if you lower the taxes, it will create jobs. And then our biggest portion of taxes the government is getting, the federal government, is from income tax, from employees. So from the W-2s that we're paying. So if we create jobs and we're lowering taxes on business people, on companies to create the jobs, we'll actually, in the long run, make more money from the income tax that the employees are paying.
Gotcha.
Because if not, you could see it. Even GE that didn't pay $4 billion net in a quarter, and didn't pay a dime in taxes, and now they're moving, I think, 100,000 employees to China. Mm-hmm. So we need to bring those jobs back to the United States and get that income. Just hiring our taxes is just going to scare all the businesses away from the United States.
Gotcha.
Itamar, one of the questions that I'm going to ask you is, what do you feel about our relationship right now with the United States relationship with Israel, especially when the president came on national TV more like in favor of the Palestinians? So what's your take on that?
I think the relationship right now, it started when Obama got elected.
Right, and let me add to that, because I remember reading something about the president was saying give back some land that was in Gaza, and that Israel need to give back some land in Gaza back to the Palestinians. Do you think that's right?
No. First of all, Gaza is controlled by the Palestinians. Israel doesn't have any presence in the Gaza Strip. It's 100% controlled by them. Yeah, legally maybe it's under Israel government, but the Israeli government doesn't make any decision there. The military, the Israeli military and the Israeli police doesn't have any presence in the Gaza Strip. It is 100% controlled by the Palestinians. They have enough land. The question of land for peace, I think it started when Carter was president, and it was a peace with Egypt, and Israel gave away this Sinai, which was 3 times the size of Israel. Well, Sinai was, it was a different situation back then. Now, when you look in Israel, you see Israel is a very small country. I just last week I went to a church and I helped them plan a trip to Israel to some of the volunteers and the attendants in the church. And when I described them how much time it takes to get from one point of Israel to the other side of Israel in a car, they didn't believe me. They were amazed how small Israel is. So just giving more and more land to the Arabs, that's how the Arabs are actually trying to get more land from Israel, trying to destroy Israel in a political way without going and saying, "Oh, we want to destroy Israel."
Itamar, there was a couple years ago. There was a Minnesota congressman. His name escapes me. He was a freshman congressman. I believe he's still there. Matter of fact, and he wanted to take the oath on the Quran. How do you feel about that?
Terrible. I mean, if you look at the Quran and you look at the amendments, commandments of the Quran, they just call for destruction of everyone that is not Islamic. I mean, if you really read into what they're saying, and it's black and white, you can go to Wikipedia and see what they're saying. It's just destruction for the free world.
I like to know from your opinion. Sorry to cut you off, Itamar. I like to know from your opinion what you believe this country is founded on, and what do you believe if you believe in the Constitution of the United States? From your opinion.
Oh, I'm a huge supporter of the Constitution of the United States. As I said to many of my people, I do the Second Amendment 18 times every day, but it's my small collection. But I'm a huge supporter of the Constitution of the United States, and the United States was built on freedom, and it has from everything. I mean, if you look at the Constitution, all it says, if you want to sum it up, it's freedom.
And do you believe that, I mean, United States was founded on the word God. Do you believe God should stay into our language as far as freedom is concerned? Or
Exactly.
do you think that we should eliminate that word, like in God we trust and all that other good stuff there?
We should definitely keep God in our government.
So
not in our government, but in everything we do, it was founded on it, and I believe in it.
So if you do get elected as Congressman of Texas, what district is that, by the way?
If a few days ago, actually, did a press release where the problem with Texas, that they haven't finished the redistricting yet.
Okay, that sounds like Nevada.
Yeah, it sounds like pretty much everywhere else in the country. But they haven't finished the redistricting yet, and it's going to court in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
As of now, it is District 6. It's south of Dallas, and Dallas County, Tarrant County, and then going south of that, it's Alice and Varro counties. And as I said, it's in 2 weeks. It's supposed to start going to court. So we'll see what the court decision will be.
Okay, and the congressman I was referring to, his name is Keith Ellison. He's the Minnesota congressman, represented the 5th district in Minnesota. He's the one that took the oath on the Quran. How do you think your relationship would be with Congressman Ellison? Hypothetically.
Well, that probably will not be the best friends.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yes. How would you define your duty as an elected official?
Represent my constituent in the government, put their voice and fight for their voice to be heard.
Do you know Congresswoman Shelley Berkeley here in Nevada?
I know the name. I'm not that familiar about her.
And she's always a supporter of efforts in Israel. Have you touched base with her to try to, the best way to go about this as far as running for Congressman of Texas?
No, I actually haven't. Most of the elected officials I've talked and I'm getting support from Texas, local Texas politicians.
And are you on that same bandwagon? Because there was so many rumors out there about Texas wants to be their own country. Are you on that type of bandwagon, making Texas their own entity, or no?
As of now, I'm running for federal office, so I'm running for the so it's. I think Texas will stay as a state of the federation. I don't think Texas is going to get to be their own country.
Is this a vacated seat, Itamar?
No, it's there's an incumbent right now over there.
Okay. And you're trying to unseat him? And
Correct.
Is he an R or a D?
He's an R.
Okay. Okay. So why should the Republicans of Texas elect you in the primaries?
Because I'm unique. I bring a lot of qualities and quantities that people want to see in our government. If I moved back to the United States about 8 years ago with $2,000 in my pocket, and I made it. Now I'm in real estate. I have a small business. I have 2 small businesses. I know what it is to have nothing and to try to build it, to fight with the government, and get it done. Deal with the day-to-day problems. Most of our elected officials are either or political families, so they didn't really need to. They're not really down to earth, connected to the people. And I am. I work every day with the people. I deal with that. I dealt with that only. Dealt with being on poverty level only 7-8 years ago, and now I'm building it up. So I still remember how it was.
Are you in a parking lot, Itamar?
No, actually, it's my neighbor's car.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell him to shut that doggone alarm off so you can talk on the phone?
Yeah, let me move to another room and.
Hey, Itamar, before we go, and I've been trying to struggle how I was going to ask this question. Why'd you come back to the United States for?
It's my homeland.
Okay.
I was born here, and that's where I wanted to live. Even in Israel, even when I served in the Israeli military, I always had the American flag with me in my room.
All right, let me ask you another question. You served in the Israeli military. What happens if Israel had a conflict with the United States and we sent troops into Israel? What side of the fence would you be on?
I'll be in the American, but I don't believe it will ever happen.
Okay. I thought that was a fair question. I just wanted to hear your assessment of it. Jennifer, you have anything else?
No.
As I tell people, I'm American first.
Okay. Very good. All right, Itamar. It was very nice talking to you. Do you have anything else you wanna tell the listeners before we?
Actually, there's a few of my volunteers asked me to mention that because we were talking about the debt and how to solve it. And they were actually asking me to mention that while the American credit rating is going down, Israel credit is actually going up. So, we can learn from other countries and how to come and bring and fix the economy if we do it right.
Do you have a web address or any contact information you'd like to share with the listeners?
Definitely. My website is www.gelmanforcongress.com. It's GELB, like Bravo, MAN, for Congress, oneword.com, and you can find me on Facebook as well. I'm the only Itamar Gilman on Facebook, so it should be really easy to find me there.
All right, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
That was Itamar Gilman, the Republican candidate representing Texas for U.S. Congress. And in a moment, we're going to have Diana Hampton, Henderson Municipal Court judge. This is Steve Sampson and Jennifer Berry of Veterans in Politics. Don't go away, folks.
Veterans in Politics takes a proactive approach to provide you, the veteran, with the political voice for which you fought and served.
Veterans in Politics is becoming the premier veteran organization of the 21st century, with political candidate interviews, insight, and endorsements.
Public speaking engagements in support of American values.
Radio shows to keep you updated on the latest in veteran and military support operations.
Providing job placement and business support.
Go to veteransinpolitics.com today and do your part in defending liberty.
9711 Southeastern Avenue, Suite H1 is the place to be. Get yourself a treat. Come to M&Y Snowballs to beat the heat. More than 40 regular flavors, 8 sugar-free flavors, or your choice of 2 cream flavors. Stuff your snowball with soft-serve ice cream for $1 more. We have smoothies, soft drinks, cheese and nachos, and even more. New Orleans original flavor, all of which you can savor. We hope to see you there.
While growing up, I've always asked my family, who is my father? I was told the name of a man. When I became older, I looked for this man and found him. He thought that I was his son as well, but after a DNA test, it was discovered that my family was lying to me all my life. I pressured my family to give me the real identity of my father. I then became suspicious and took my grandfather's DNA. After I buried my grandfather, 2 days later, I discovered that my grandfather was, in fact, my biological father. I questioned myself and asked, what is my purpose on this earth? I should have never been conceived. But when I look at my 4 children, I knew that everything happens for a reason. This is Steve Sanson. Find your identity.
Are you a business owner struggling during these economic times? Please listen up. How would you like to put your business and services in front of every resident and business in the Las Vegas Valley for less than a penny per home? Yes, that's right. I said less than 1 cent per home and business. And how would you like to have a dynamic and exciting online presence with the major search engines? How about an online video for your business and a fully optimized website with absolutely no setup fee? Hi, my name is George. If you are interested in these and other services that can make your phone ring with clients and prospects, then call me at 702-296-8394. Just call George at 702-296-8394. Thank you.
Veterans in Politics' first annual VIP ball will be held at the Plaza Hotel and Casino in downtown Las Vegas on Saturday, October 15th at 5:30 p.m. Join us for a VIP reception, dinner, and dancing with special guest speaker, United States Congresswoman Shelley Berkley. Other invited guest speakers will include Nevada Lieutenant Governor Brian Krolicki and Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman. Together, we are moving veterans forward in Nevada. For tickets and sponsorships, call 702-813-8356 or visit our website at www.veteransinpolitics.com.
What are you doing online? I'm checking out the belly dance class we took last week.
Where's it at?
TakeBackYourBelly.com.
That's right.
We worked our arms.
We worked our abs.
We worked so hard
and had a blast. No matter what your shape or size, come belly dance, you'll be surprised.
For class schedule and location, log on to TakeBackYourBelly.com or call 219-3151.
Well, we're back. This is Steve Sanson and Jennifer Barrier with Veterans in Politics. We have live in studio Diana Hampton, who is the current Henderson Municipal Court judge. How are you doing today, Diana?
Good afternoon. Doing very well, thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Am I too close? Oh, I need to get closer. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I've been in the Las Vegas area the vast majority of my life. I went to school at UNLV, graduated UNLV with Bachelor's of Science in Kinesiology Science, and from there I went to law school in California, Western School of Law. Boyd wasn't yet open, or I may have gone there. And came back and worked private practice for a few years, doing primarily family and a little bit of criminal defense. And thereafter, I went to work with the city of Henderson as a prosecutor and ran for Henderson Municipal Court Judge, Department 3, just a little over 6 years ago, and won that seat. It was an open seat and was just reelected just this past April.
So, question for you, Judge Hampton. You know what was going on in Henderson with the city attorney. How do you feel about that?
Well, what do you mean, how do I feel about that?
I mean, do you think that she should have stayed on the job? Do you think that she should have resigned like she did? What's your take?
Unfortunately, there's a lot more into what occurred than just the DUI. Right. As a person, I think that Ms. Quellen is a very nice lady, but I don't think that the position may have been for her. And so I think that the DUI, when that came about, that was time for her to leave. Okay. And I think that the right decision was made. So
you've been on the bench, 5 years now?
6.
6 years?
6.
And you run the Youth Offenders program, is that correct?
No, it's actually called the Life of Crime program.
The Life of Crime program. Tell us a little bit about that and why you wanted to be involved in that program.
Well, the idea originally came from Judge Warren Van Landshut out of North Las Vegas. He ran the program for several years, and I was discussing it with him one day at lunch, and he was saying how it was such a great program, and he wanted it to be throughout the jurisdiction. It was only in North Las Vegas, and so many times people had a problem getting to the program. So he wanted it to be, in Henderson, maybe one in Las Vegas, so there would be different locations. And I saw the program. I thought it was a phenomenal program, and so I kind of raised my hand and said, sure, I'll do it. And worked on it. It took us a year to get it off the ground, but we finally did. And the success rate has been, I shouldn't say the success rate, but the attendance rate, I should say, has just been wonderful. And about the program, what it's geared about, the entire program is geared about choices. And we start off with a story. And the storyline is that two kids, we call them Dumb and Dumber, make a decision to, a choice to ditch school. And then when they are ditching school, then they make a choice to go to the nearest store, Walmart, Target, whatever, and look at the new games that are out there. Well, when they're there, as they're looking at the display case, they notice that it's open. And so they make a choice to take one of the games and slip it in their pocket. Well, unbeknownst to them, they are being watched by security. And they decide that they're going to leave the store. Security stops them. They make another choice and decide that they are not going to stay, but they are going to run. And as they run, they knock over one of those greeters that, stand at the front, and knock the person over, breaking an arm, leg. And now, instead of being fleeing misdemeanors, they are now fleeing felons. And with one single stupid choice, their entire life is now changed forever. And so we then we go into the choice that was made, and then we bring in the different police organizations that help to catch offenders. We start off with SWAT. Start off with K-9, and then go to SWAT, and then go to the CAT team, followed by the rope offender team, and then we take a break, and then we actually have 5 inmates from the Henderson Detention Center come up, and they tell what life is really like in the detention center, and that's the part that really gets the kids' attention. It's kind of a modified Scared Straight type of program. It's not as in-depth as Scared Straight, but it really works. And the kids, it can be very emotional. I mean, I've looked in the audience and I've seen parents crying. I've seen the kids crying, when they're leaving there. And, if we have changed the life of one kid who will now go on to make better choices, then we've done our job.
So how many kids do you think that this program possibly saved?
Oh, I have no idea as far as saved. I mean, that's yet to be determined.
And I remember sitting in your courtroom while you were conducting that program, and you had the parents in there. Is the parents mandatory? They have to be in there as well?
It's not mandatory, but the parents need to learn as much. I mean, they have issues, some of them, in raising their children, and they want help. What do I do? How do I make little Johnny or little Susie change their ways? And so they're reaching out, asking for help. So a lot of them do attend as well.
Why did you want to become a judge, Judge Hampton?
It sounds really corny, but it's the truth. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to do, I live in this town. My children are being raised in this town, and so I wanted to make a difference. And so being a judge allows me to do certain things to make those changes.
Okay. Do you see any other positions that you might want to do, or or do you feel that you just always want to be a judge?
For now, judges is good. I don't know that I would want to. I don't know that I would want to bridge over to the executive or legislative branches of government. Right now, I do like the judicial side. It's a quieter side, if you will. But it's a good side. I like that.
What about the district side or the Supreme Court side?
Right now, I hate to be selfish,
or even the JP side.
I work 4 days a week. It's a wonderful job. I don't
4 days a week. Who works 4 days a week?
No, I think everybody should work 4 days a week. It would actually save money. And it would there's a lot of studies that have been done for people calling in sick and things like that. It actually would work out better, but that's a whole other topic.
Jennifer, I know you have some questions.
Yes,
right?
Judge Hampton. Going back to the Life of Crime program that was established in January 2010, I just want to say, you know what, this is good. This is great for our community because I know that you have to see tangible evidence in front of you in order to believe. Like, you can read all you want about a certain, country, but unless you go there and see it, it's a whole different experience. So I think that this is going to be just such a great eye-opener for students, parents, to actually see.
It really is, and I don't know if you've been to the program, Jennifer.
I haven't yet. No.
It's and I invite anybody that's listening. It's free, and it's the second Thursday of every month. We are dark July and December. But it starts promptly at 6 p.m. and it gets over. It's not a very long program. It ends anywhere between 8 and 8:30.
Nice.
The Veterans Court program, I don't know how, I wanted to get your take on this. I know that I've been pushing this for quite some time now. I don't know how many judges I've met with regarding this program. And I know Judge Jennifer Elliott brought me into this back in 2009. And recently I've met with Judge Hedger and Judge Stevens a couple weeks ago. And we talked a lot about the Veterans Court program. What's your take on that? How do you feel about it, the Veterans Court program?
Well, let's just put it this way. I think that if Judge Stevens didn't do it, that Judge Hedger or I would have done it. I think that it's long overdue. I don't think that we do enough for our men and women in uniform while they are serving our country and when they're out. I think that I mean, I hate to say it because I love my country, but I don't think that we treat them well. I really don't.
I mean, these troops are. And correct me if I'm wrong. Recently there was a police shooting by Coronado High School. I believe that was yesterday. Mm-hmm. 3 Henderson police was involved in that shooting, and they're now on paid administrative leave. And my understanding of how this works is that when a police officer gets involved in a shooting, they're on about 6 months paid administrative leave. I don't know if that time frame is correct, but that's what I was told. When a military personnel is in combat, they're in combat day in, day out, seeing their friends blown up, have to take lives, have to save lives, get shot, back on the field. And some of these military personnel, their tours are anywhere between 6 to 12 months. And some of them go on anywhere between 3 to 9 combat tours. Now, if a military personnel is in the fight every single day for years sometimes, and a police officer gets 6 months paid administrative leave for actually being in a shooting, how do you think these military personnel are going to come back to society?
That's a very good question. Unfortunately, I'm not a psychologist, but I can tell you that the time frame in which the officers used to have off used to be much shorter. But since the coroner's inquest, and because of a lot of outcry, now the time off is much longer. Right. And you made a very good point. I mean, these men and women, they shoot every day. and they have to see their friends and, people killed, and they have to get up and go back to work the very next day. And that's why we have so many issues with post-traumatic stress syndrome and things along those lines. And again, that's why I think we don't do enough for our men and women in uniform. There needs to be more available to them, more resources available to them. I think that their pay is laughable. I mean, they're out there risking their lives, and they get paid peanuts. And so I mean, there's so many things that I find wrong about it, and I don't want to get on my soapbox. We'll be here forever.
So, Judge Hampton, how do you feel about the judicial system right now? Do you think it's serving the people's interests as far as everyone, or do you think that it's selective on who it's served?
Nobody's always going to be happy. I mean, that's just the bottom line. We do the best that we can with what we have. And I can tell you that, I try to be as fair as I can in court with anybody and everybody that comes before me, but people aren't always going to be happy. And I think that right now the system, the way it is the best one in the world. And I think that anybody that has lived around the world would say that it is the best system. It's flawed, of course. There's going to be no perfect system when you are dealing with this many people, but it is the best system there is.
All right, so Judge Hampton, I'm curious, what's the biggest change that you've seen in the city since growing up?
The biggest change, this city, Henderson, Las Vegas. I lived here when the 95 actually ended at Decatur. And from Decatur to Jones, it was nothing but a dirt road. I mean, that's how long I've been here. The town has grown up in so many ways. I remember in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a shift to try to make this a family type of place. The Mirage was trying to, be more family oriented to get the families here. And now we've had another shift to where now they are focusing on anywhere from 23 to, I'm going to say 36-year-olds, those professionals that have the money. And it's become a city that truly is the Sin City. I'm not going to say that I'm unhappy with it, but I'm not going to say that I'm happy with it either.
Mm-hmm.
That was it, Jennifer?
You know what? Yeah.
Judge, I remember a few years ago, because I was doing a lot of small claims court. A few years ago, there was I can't mention any names because this judge is actually on the bench and actually moved up the ladder. I remember this one judge didn't want to enforce a law that's currently on the books. It was a Nevada revised statute, and I told the judge stop legislating from the bench and start enforcing the law. How do you feel about judges that legislate, and because they don't like certain law, they kind of find a way to move around it instead of enforcing the law that's currently on the books?
Well, yeah, and that happens a lot. And I'd say, over and over again that I won't legislate from the bench, and I may not like a law the way it's written, but that's not my job. My job isn't to change that. That's, the legislature's job to do that. But there are a lot of interpretations, and that's the problem, is because there's a fine line between interpretation and legislating from the bench. I mean, you can use the sentence, Mary had a little lamb, and you can interpret that, several different ways. Does Mary have a little pet lamb? Did she have a little lamb for dinner? I mean, there's so many ways that you can look at that. And so you have a law that's in front of you, and you're reading it, and, it depends on where a comma is placed, where a period is placed, and it takes on a totally different meaning if you read it, in a particular way. And so sometimes the line between legislating and interpreting can be very dim.
What laws would you like to see change?
Well, I would like to see the DUI law probably a little bit more stringent. That is a law, or that's a crime where you can take you, me, anybody, and we can go from driving down the street to killing somebody.
Right.
And so I think that we need to have better things in place to deter.
It's currently .008. Right?
That's correct. Yes.
And
yes.
and it was lower than that, and the only reason why they increased is because of money, because the federal government said they were going to give any more money for the federal highways, so that's why they made it .008.
Correct. It was .10.
So you think it should be .005 maybe?
No, .08 is well, I can't say that it's fine, because I've read police reports, and I've had people in court, and that are a .08, .09, and they're stumbling. And I've seen people in court, then they're a 2.0, and you wouldn't know that they've had anything to drink.
Depends on their body size.
It does. It does. So I'm not necessarily, want to say that I want to see that change. What I would like to see changed is, for instance, in my court, anybody that has a DUI, it's not mandatory by law right now, but anybody that's sentenced to a DUI, they have to do the coroner's DUI program.
Right.
And because I think it's a wonderful program, and I want people to see that death is real. And you make a choice. Once again, we're back to choices. Right. You make a choice to drink and drive, and you can shatter a family, not only yours, but some innocent family that's out there. And it's very real, and I want people to know that. So I would like to see that be part of the DUI law. I'd like to, see something. Jail isn't always the answer, but a lot of times jail is the answer in that. You at least take the people off the street and can protect the public. So, unfortunately, that's the one thing that jail does serve. It does serve others, but that's the one thing that it does. And so that's the one I'd like to see a little bit more stringent. I'd like to see the domestic battery law little bit. I don't want to say changed, but right now we have domestic battery where if it's sibling rivalry, you have two, an 18 and 19-year-old brothers, and they're fighting over, say, a TV remote control. The police show up, one of them's going to go to jail, and by law, it's a domestic battery. Well, I don't know if you have brothers and sisters, but I can imagine that when you were 18 and 19 years old, you guys were still, pummeling each other. And if the police were to ever have shown up, and it's not the officer's fault, they have to take someone to jail. Then it's, the city attorney's job then to decide whether or not to move forward, and then our job, if it goes to trial, to determine guilt or innocence.
So even when somebody doesn't even have a mark on them, they still got to take somebody to jail?
Well, usually, yes. Somebody usually does go to jail. Very, very rarely does somebody not go to jail. Sometimes they take both parties, but usually one does go, and it's usually, you look at a lot of different factors. You look at, the size, the weight, whether or not the person's changing their story. That's a big one, because if you have someone that sticks to the same story over and over again versus someone that changes their story 10 times, then you're kind of like, well, something isn't right here. And so the police look at a lot of different factors before they make that determination. And again, they just make that determination to take to jail. The level is probable cause. And so, and probable cause is a very low standard. So the officers make that determination. Probable cause exists to take someone to jail. And then it's the city attorney's job, like I said, to prosecute. And then my job, if it goes to trial, to see if it meets the level of beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much, much higher standard.
Well, Judge Hampton, I had several other questions for you, but my sound engineer is kicking me off the mic. But I'd like to thank you for coming on the show.
I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And how could the listeners get a hold of you if they need to?
Henderson, City of Henderson website. My number and email is right on there, and please feel free to contact me. And we also have information regarding the life of crime on the website as well.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you
Judge
very
Hampton.
much. Thank you.
That's Judge Diana Hampton, who's a Henderson City Municipal Court judge. This is Steve Sanson and Jennifer Barry of Veterans in Politics. But next week, folks, we're going to have Susan Johnson, Clark County District Court Judge, and then we're going to have Sheila Leslie, who's a Nevada State Senator representing Washoe County. This is Steve Sanson, Jennifer Barry. Until next week.